Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to take a look at which of the 8th anniversary banners you should consider summoning on and why in DBZ Dokkan battle. So there's two banners. There's the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta I should say, and Goku GT. And there is also the Majin Buu duo, so the Majin Buu Saga duo, and you can probably interchange both of these units. I would say between the lead units, so the Majin Buu Saga duo and the SS4 units, I don't think there's a very big gap. I think the Majin Buu duo have a slightly better lead skill, at least for me, but I think beyond that I think they're very comparable as units. I think they do a great job. I do like the Majin Buu duo a little bit more aesthetically, but I think they're pretty much bang on even. Same with the General Banner units. I think both General Banner units are also relatively simple and super straightforward. So I honestly don't think that you need to evaluate either the leaders or the banner units compared to each other. I think for the most part you'll have a pretty decent time and you don't need to, compare them too much. So let's look at the other units on the banner and discuss why you may want to summon for either of them. Now we have Gamma 1. Now Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are both exceptional units. Gamma 1 is on this banner and he's great from the perspective of he's a fantastic defensive unit that can still do some very sizable damage. He is a little bit more limited in leader skill, leading artificial life forms, and his lead skill is decent but not as great as Gamma 2. However, I feel like he's the unit a lot of people like a bit more. He is much more a pseudo first slot tank or defensive unit, and people tend to like that. We then have Final Form Cooler, LR Final Form Cooler, who obviously competes with the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta duo. Cooler is still probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, if not joint strongest, extreme units, and he leads an incredibly strong extreme team. So I think Cooler is, at least for me, a far more accessible unit and better unit for the box than the Super Saiyan duo. We then have Frieza, so we have the Final Form Frieza, again a solid unit if not a little bit aged. We have the Super Saiyan God duo, who I think for me have aged a little bit better than the SS4 duo due to two reasons. Their leader skill is great and gives them a lot of diversity because of how many units fit underneath it, and as units I think they excel in the floater role, which makes them really good compared to the SS4s. However, the SS4s are getting some sizable buffs in the near future. Then we get the Int Vegeta. I think both 6-year LRs are probably a little bit down on the return scale. However, I do think AGL Goku is better than Int Vegeta, although I think they're both probably on the rear end of what you want. And then you have the 5th-year LRs, who are both receiving the EZA this year, and so by default are both good pickups. We then have the Worldwide Celebration units. I still think Strength Vegeta probably edges out Physical Buuhan, although Physical Buuhan now makes probably one of my favorite pairings in the game with AGL Super Buu, so there is that's going for him. Overall, I would say obviously both banners are good. However, I would highlight that the units you're looking to get from this banner are the God duo, the obvious lead duo, Gamma 1, and probably Final Form Cooler. Now in terms of the second banner, we have Vegeta and Goku, again fully comparable to the Majin Buu Saga duo. I don't think there's any difference, so I don't think there's any need to get crazy with it. We then also have obviously the banner unit, who again I honestly think neither are fully impressive, so I don't think there's a need to really kind of break down anything about them. I don't think you can really compare them, but I don't think it matters. Gamma 2 has a better leader skill than Gamma 1. He is also incredible in slot 2, but Gamma 2 feels a slight bit more dependent on dupes due to the fact that he's a second slot unit than Gamma 1. So although he's a good pickup, I do edge it a little bit in Gamma 1's favor, at least for me, but I think both are exceptional. I think the margin of selection between the two of them is very, very small. Gamma 2 can do huge damage, like unequivocally huge damage. The Super Saiyan duo are a very good unit. The community doesn't seem to like them as much as I do, but I do think they are actually very good. However, I think Cooler being such a strong lead for any kind of late game extreme team makes him way more valuable, whereas they aren't a bad unit in any way, shape or form. There's plenty of pseudo replacements for them, even within these banners themselves. We then have Namek Goku, who probably edges out Frieza for me. Leader skill wise, he's a bit more accessible than Frieza, and it feels like with dupes, he can pull his weight a little bit more. Frieza's also the same. I think they both need dupes really to be top of the line, but I do think they're both very good units still. But I think Goku edges it slightly. The Super Saiyan 4 units, personally, I love them more than the SS Guard units. I think the SS Guard units, from an objective perspective, are slightly better. I think the SS4 units are getting really good buffs with this Goku and Vegeta, and with the upcoming LR SS4 Goku. So I think having those buffs pushes their team a little bit. Their top team is really good, but I think their leader skill isn't as valuable as maybe the SS Guard duo. Goku is slightly better than Vegeta, just because of the way his evasion and defense works, but he also suffers from not being as good as the other units. And then we obviously have the 5th year LR unit, who will become good with his EZA. So, that's the same on both banners. I think Vegeta is maybe slightly better than Gogeta, but honestly speaking, they both become exceptional units, so I don't really see a big issue there. And then we have Buhan, who I think as a unit, his kit has aged better than Strength Vegeta, but I think he himself struggles because his team is not so great. Now, it is getting some buffs, and we do have Super AGL Buu, so there is hope for that category, but he still needs dupes, but it is much better for him. So overall, if we have to really compare the banners, I think for the first time ever, these banners are very well split. I think you could summon on either, and you're getting a very good package deal. I think between Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, I would probably say Gamma 1 is the better option, at least on the surface level, just due to his defensive capabilities. However, if you're a new player, Gamma 2 is probably better due to the fact that he has 3 team leads, which is huge. Cooler is definitely better than the Super Saiyan duo, just more access to extreme teams. Goku's probably better than Frieza, at least in my perspective on the surface level, just due to accessibility of teams and the way his kit ages with dupes, makes him a little bit more accessible. The SS4s, although comparable on one team to the God units, I still think the God units have a slight edge, and also they just lead a much better, much more recently, much over the toply buffed team in Movie Heroes. So I just think that is better for them. And yeah, I would say the God duo is probably the better choice. Then you have AGL MUI Goku, better than Vegeta, definitely. And the 5th year LRs, which I think are probably even, if I really had to get down to it, although maybe Vegeta is slightly better. And Buhan, although personally edging out the Super Vegeta, I think Vegeta's lead skill is more accessible. But for the first time, I think the banners are very well split. If I had to invest, I would probably say go with the banner that has the units you lack the most. However, I will say that the Majin Buu banner, or the Buu duo, the Buu Saga duo, does have better leads. I think it overall has better leads, barring Gamma 1. And I think especially Cooler and his accessibility to extreme teams, I think is very, very important for new accounts and just for accounts in general. So that's really it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think or what you're going to summon on. It's always super interesting to hear, and yeah, look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until then, as always, you can take care, stay safe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.